Hello YNABers, my name is Jesse Meekum from YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget. You do, we all do, especially at this time of year, recovering from the holidays. If you are a professional YNABer, then you don't really recover from the holidays, you just restart the idea that you should save every month for that glorious time of year where we spend a good chunk of money. If you are new to YNAB, then you'll be wondering what you should do with the credit card bill perhaps. And I'm telling you, take that holiday, break it up into monthly amounts and treat it just like a monthly bill. If you want to spend $600, $50 a month toward the holiday spending. It is a monthly bill. But that is not the topic for today. The topic is the new YNAB. We just launched it on December 30th of last year. And there are some philosophical reinforcements that have come in regarding the YNAB method. I want to talk today about Rule 3, specifically handling how you handle reimbursement expenses. So let me first walk you through just some quick math, new math, not really. Category A has $100 in it, Category B has $50, and Category C has $100. Category B will be the problem category. Watch closely. We have a total of $250 in cash, like in your checking account. And we teach, and this is critical, we teach that you do not make decisions based on the large checking account, large pile of money in your checking account or small. You make decisions in a more granular fashion, looking at a category and say, can I buy any more of A? Yes, I can because I have 100. Can I buy more of B? Yes, I can because I have 50. You don't make spending decisions based on that checking account balance. It's horrible. It doesn't even promote good decision making at all, especially if you're sharing finances with a partner. So A, B, and C, we have total cash of $250, and then in B, we accidentally or intentionally or whatever, but we overspend. It happens all the time. Overspending is a part of budgeting. Budgeting is just planning, and overspending happens. I mean, heck, I just lived through a plan that didn't go completely according to plan, and you just roll with the punches, right? So that's what we're going to do here. We spent $75 from Category B, resulting in a negative category balance of $25. Now normally with the old YNAB, you would have been able to click a little arrow. If you knew about the feature, you'd be able to click a little arrow and you could actually have Category B the next month, if I can just write that really quick, you could have the next month, if you didn't put any money back into Category B, it would still be the negative $25. And then if you hadn't spent any money from Category A, but let's say you'd spent half of it, pardon the writing, you'd have 50 there and you spent some of this, so you'd maybe have 75 here. So your total cash on hand would be $100. 50 minus 25 is 25, plus 75 is 100. Because you could just turn off Rule 3 essentially and just have that negative carry forward. People would do this a lot with their reimbursements. They're saying, oh no, this $75 that I spent, I'm expecting it back. I lent money to my mom, I lent money to my neighbor, I lent money to my business or to my employer, and they'll pay me back. So you just roll with it. And then when you got the reimbursement, it would come back and it would reverse this negative 25 and bring it back up to 50. That's okay. It was okay, except for a more fundamentally important concept in that these balances here are no longer accurate. You can no longer accurately decide and say, Category A has $50 in it, therefore I or my partner can spend this money. Or Category C actually has 75 in it because our Category A and C together, it's saying we have $125 of cash, 75 plus 50. But we don't, only have $100 of cash. And this can get really gnarly if there are large amounts that are negative, where these positive category balances have subsidized that overspending without actually letting you know. So you look at Category A and think there's money and there isn't. This was a huge problem, huge, where category balances are inaccurate, and we don't want it at all. So what we really want to do is have you roll with the punches as you would with just normal any overspending. You would say, okay, I've got minus 25. What should I do to cover this? If you've put this reimbursement on a card, which is standard for a lot of businesses, including mine, right? If you've done that and the business then pays you back the next month, you would just record that income as funds available to budget and then budget it to the credit card payment category. So now that cash is just available to make the credit card payment. That's easy. If the reimbursement happens in the same month where you ended up having that overage, you could categorize that money directly to the spending and have it reverse right in that spot. It's important to note that if you use a category and you don't address the overspending, then we treat that as debt, because it is. And as the month rolls over, you'll be able to recognize that, oh, that month I created a little debt. I'll pay it off so I don't have any more, but in that month you did absolutely create debt for which you are on the hook. So you set aside that money for the payment, you make the payment, you just budget right to that credit card category. That's one way to handle reimbursements. The second way is to cover this negative $25 by actually moving cash, just like you would with any other overspending. So you actually are just kind of setting up a little cash pool to manage reimbursements for you. So this category never goes into the red and your category balances stay the same. This is a workflow that we completely revamped for the new YNAB. And we know, I am one of those that was affected, and I thought, okay, how will I do this? How will I work with it? I've carried negative balances forward since the beginning of my use of YNAB. This is the key point. Because we've reinforced the third rule, where you roll with the punches and you address the fact that there actually is cash that has left your system and there needs to be a solution for it, when you address that, you will find that Rule 1 has been strengthened. And I don't mean this in light of reimbursements. I mean this in light of the fact that we would use Rule 3. I am guilty and some of you are guilty. We would use Rule 3. I shouldn't say guilty. We would employ Rule 3 in such a way where we could defer decisions because of overspending. I could look and overspend a little bit on vacation, like last month, overspend a little bit, and then I could just say, oh, I'll just handle that later. I'll handle that later. That deferral of the decision was the bigger issue here. So the biggest issue, deferring that decision, we didn't want. We reinforce Rule 1 where you make decisions now based on now, and you can't just put off those hard decisions, which is exactly what I used to do. I'll just deal with that later, and later never came. Second, we make sure that your category balances are accurate. That was extremely important. And third, in handling the reimbursements this way, everything still works swimmingly well. I apologize for the length on this one, but this has been a common question. No surprise, because we completely changed that workflow. So we appreciate the feedback. We've heard it. Here's our solution. If we've missed something, happy to hear more feedback. We'll just keep on going with the launch. And it's been crazy. We are just at a frantic pace because of the new year anyway. I appreciate you guys writing in, giving us honest, solid, concise, direct, frank feedback. It's been fantastic. It helps us a ton. So we really appreciate it. I hope you see where we're coming from and that it makes sense. You get a little light bulb moment and we can carry on, make 2016 the best year for budgeting that we have ever seen. I will see you guys next week.